Hi everybody, I thought I'd record a vlog here. Been watching some of the things that have been on YouTube about coming out stories, and I thought that I would add my own on there. I kind of came out a little bit late in my life, I guess, compared to a lot of people, I guess. I was 22 years old, 23, something like that, when I first came out. And and throughout high school and all, I just didn't really have much of an interest in anybody really, one way or the other. I always thought, well, I probably was just late blooming, I guess, and I didn't really think that I was gay particularly. I just didn't think I was just interested in girls yet. And which is really obviously not too logical, but still, that's what I thought, I guess, at the time. I didn't even really, when I was growing up, I didn't even really know what gay was. I wasn't until maybe 14 years old when I'd first heard the term and really knew what it meant. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as that up to that point. So I think I'd been kind of interested, but I just didn't really know. And so it really wasn't until I went to college that things really started to change for me in terms of that. And so I'd kind of had some curiosity, I guess, about it. And while I was in college, and I didn't really do anything, didn't act upon it really, but I certainly was interested. And when I was 23, I think, that was when I was watching a football game actually with my dad, and just suddenly I thought, I'm gay. And it just kind of came out of nowhere. I really don't know where that came from, but when I went back to college, I lived in a different town, and that same weekend a friend of mine said, "Oh, I've got to talk to you." And I didn't really know what it was about or anything, and didn't think that much about it. And I could tell that he was kind of reluctant to say something to me. He didn't really come right out, and I think we probably went to dinner or something, and then he came over to my house, and so I may have said, "Okay, well, what's going on, or what do you want to say?" And so he just said, "Well, I'm gay." And so I said, "Yeah, well, I am too." And that was the first time that I'd ever said anything to anybody like that. And it was kind of scary, I guess. And but it was okay too, because at least it was kind of funny that I had just kind of acknowledged that within myself, and then this came out at the same time. So he knew some other people that were gay, and so I got to meet them, and we became friends, and with the other people, and so I did, rather. And so that kind of helped, because at least then I knew other people I could talk about it, and questions and things like that, and talk about different experiences. So I thought that was pretty important. That's the only time that I'd ever had a conversation or discussion about that at all with anybody. And so I think that was really pretty good. I think that it wasn't until a couple of years, well, maybe a year later, that I finally decided, well, that I needed to come out to my family as well. By that point, I'd already come out to all of my friends, and they knew, and people at work knew too, though I don't remember if I had told them before or after I told my parents. I don't remember. But, I didn't, at work, it wasn't that I was out exactly in the proclaiming it type of thing, but rather if just people asked, then yeah, I was. It wasn't a big deal, and I didn't really care one way or the other if they knew. when I decided to come out to my parents, and I had gone home for the weekend, I was still in college, and my situation just never came up. I mean, I just couldn't come up with the right time to ever mention it, and sometimes I find that happens when I'm with a situation like this. I just don't know what to say or when to say it, and there's never really a good time. I mean, it's not like there's a handbook rules that say that, well, here's the time when you want to announce that you're gay to somebody. I mean, it doesn't work out that way. And so I was having a conversation with my mom about something, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, she just said, well, something to the effect of, well, don't like girls, or do you like guys, or what? I don't remember how exactly she worded it. And so I just said, well, no, I like guys, and that I'm gay. And she had a hard time kind of accepting that, I guess. And at first, I mean, it wasn't real easy to acknowledge. And so when she said that, I was actually getting ready, was going to be going back to driving back to college, and so it just wasn't the time to go and get into a big conversation with my dad. And my grandmother lived with us at the time too, and I just didn't want to get into that. And so my mom said later, maybe that week, she said, well, you've got to tell your dad, I can't keep this a secret. And so I came back probably the next weekend, I guess, and had that conversation with my dad and with my grandmother. And that wasn't real easy either, but it wasn't as hard as the first conversation with my mom. But my dad didn't take it really easily either. I mean, he didn't get angry or anything, but it just wasn't real easy, and you could see that he was upset about it, but it didn't, he didn't say anything negative or anything like that, and my mom didn't either. I mean, it just, their reaction was kind of, what I guess any parent might be. I mean, they expect that their kids are going to do certain things, and they don't, and that's kind of a major deal. And so I didn't really have a bad experience with it, and I wouldn't say that it was a bad thing. And it was a lot easier. I mean, after that was done, I mean, I'm not a person. I'm really pretty private. I'm not going to be talking about a lot of things like that are private things with people easily. So I mean, that's not something that I do normally. So I mean, but I don't think if I was straight either that I'd be running around talking about my straight life either. I just don't see that, because that's just not really me. But I think that it was an experience that was good to do, and I'm glad that I did it. After I started working then as a professional, I was pretty closeted for most of my professional career, and it's only been just recently that I've begun telling people that I'm gay. I mean, just within the last couple of months, actually, that I've started to come out at work, and I feel a lot better about that. I mean, I used to be, of course, when I was in college, but that was a little different situation than working as a professional. And I work in a career that's kind of conservative, and so I think that's kind of not as easy to do when you're doing a career versus just working in a job. And so I think that's kind of, pretty much changed my way of looking at things, and now I'm looking to be a lot more out, and so it's part of the reason why I'm doing this vlog. And so I hope this maybe helps others of you who are looking to come out, and maybe you're a little bit older like myself, and who are a little more mature in their years and want to be able to come out. So I hope this will help you. If you have any comments, I hope to hear them on my page. Thanks.